Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you specially to this webinar. I'm so happy to see you here. And by God's grace, at the end of today, you must have gotten some valuable lessons that will help you stay safe in a toxic environment. So, but before we start, I want to be sure that you can hear me loud and clear. So if you can hear me loud and clear, say, yes, I can hear you, and also mention your name and where you are watching me from. So I want to get that, then we'll proceed. Meanwhile, while we drop our comments, I would post one more time that we have started so that a lot of people can join us. So if you can hear me loud and clear, please, I want to see your name and where you are watching me from. And if you can hear me, okay, yes, you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much. I appreciate that feedback. So now that I know you can hear me, please, I want you to drop your name and where you are watching me from. Your name and where you're watching me from, so that if you have any question, I can easily call your name and we'll go from there. So Basha Adamu is watching me from Sokoto. Fantastic. I'm happy to see you. That is very, very wonderful. Hopefully we'll get more people to join us. Kemi from Abuja, fantastic. Thank you for joining. I'm happy to have you. So share the link with friends, people you know that will benefit from this training. Share the link with them, and hopefully they learn one or two things, because of course, as we know, it is very, very tough at this point. It is very difficult. A lot are passing through stuff, and many of them are just keeping it to themselves. So, but if you expose them to ground like this, a place where they can hear information that will transform their life and turn them from stress to a very positive life, they'll be happy, they'll be grateful, they will appreciate you for inviting them. So share the link to friends, and we'll take it off from there. Before we start, I want to share a brief introduction of who I am. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Akbe. If you are meeting me for the first time, I'm a stress management consultant based in the UK, and I'm also a doctor of ethnomedicine. By God's grace, I have level three award. I have level three award in educational learning, and it's awarded by TCUK here in the UK. So I have this license to teach. I have the license to train, and also I have gotten the associate diploma in organizational learning and development from Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. And by God's grace, I am the lead, uh, one of the executive members of the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development here in the UK. It's a great honor to have many of you here. I decided to create this series and dedicate my time to it because of the kind of experience I've had with members of my community. I have people sharing information with me saying that they are tired of life. They don't know where to go from there, from where they are. They are fed up. They are mentally exhausted, and I felt so bad because most of my classes are paid. You know, we run courses, I run different trainings here in the UK and different parts of the world. So most of my courses are trained, but I felt that at this time I should be able to give back to the society. Of course, I've been on this journey for the past 13 years. Started from Nigeria, from Abuja, went to villages around Abuja, went to villages around Nigeria, teaching stress management until we took it global, and now we are operating at the global stage. But I felt that I still owe it to give back to the society and train people on what to do, because The reason why a lot of people are stressed out is because they don't know what to do. They have no idea of solution or what they can do to get themselves back on their feet. A lot of people have given up hope. And today, as I share my knowledge, please try as much as possible to gain as much information as you can, because I've got loads of information to give you that will transform your life. And I also want to let you know that this webinar will be holding every Sunday, as long as I'm free and I have time. Of course, I'll create time for it to make sure that at 9 o'clock every Sunday you will see me here. So we'll share knowledge. We're starting today with introduction and some of the things we're going to be teaching you. Then next Sunday we take it up, and every Sunday we'll keep going like that until we create a community of people who are healthy and not easily affected by stress. That is when I'll know that I've fulfilled my purpose. So that is it. Today we'll be looking at how you can manage stress in a toxic environment. So I've decided to give you a little guide, or a little ebook I wrote, and I've shared it to a lot of people. I'm going to give it to you, and it's titled Personal Stress Management Plan. Personal Stress Management Plan. The reason why a lot of people are confused, tired of life, is because they don't have any plan. I have a stress management plan for myself. I have a stress management plan for my family. So we know what we are doing. Few days ago, I decided to check my blood pressure. I made a post about it. I checked my blood pressure and it was 119/74. Despite the fact that I am doing a lot, I am so busy that sometimes I have to specially create time to be with my family. Despite all the busyness, despite all the activities, all the different positions I'm holding, different offices, I'm doing a full-time job. I am also running my personal business. I am working with different organizations. And despite all that, my blood pressure is still normal. My stress level is still normal. It's not by miracle. It's not by chance. Let me use that. That's the right word. It's not by chance. It's by deliberate organization of my life. So if you stay to the end, I'm going to share this document with you in the community. Of course, not here on YouTube. I'll share it in the community so you can download it, personalize it for yourself, and it will help you. I want to start by defining stress. I made a post some time ago, and I said stress was the reason why people acted in different ways that we say are as dangerous, like people that are criminals, people that are killers. Now, sometimes they are acting under stress, and the whole Facebook went haywire. People started throwing all manner of insults. Some were dragging me. They dragged me to the point that people were calling home office to send me back to Nigeria. So I started explaining, I had to start explaining what stress was and the reason why stress can trigger that kind of reaction before people started coming down and say, okay, I think we understand what you're saying. So because a lot of people think they know stress, but they don't. So people think that when they are tired, then they are stressed out. No, you can be tired, but you're not stressed out. So what exactly is stress? Stress is the way you respond to what is happening around you. So it is your response to different situations happening around you that makes you stressed out. It is not really the situation that is stressing you. It is how you are responding to the situation. That is what is stressing you. People have different levels of response to stress. Let me give you a typical example. Sometimes people listen to what is happening in the country, the kidnapping, killings, and all manner of things going on in the country, and they handle it very well. But there are other people that have this, that hear the same news and they break down mentally. There are some people that have broken homes. They come out from broken homes and it affects them for life. Meanwhile, there are others that come out from the same broken homes and they use it as a motivation to have a successful marriage. So two people can be going through the same thing, but have the same different results. One will be stressed out, while the other will not be stressed out. The difference is there are various responses to stress. So it is your response to stress that makes you stressed out. If your response is positive, you will not be stressed out. If your response is negative, you will definitely be stressed out. Your response is the problem. People say things to you and you get angry. Your response is the problem. If somebody insults you and you just smile and walk away, you will not be stressed out. But if somebody insults you and you pick up a fight with the person or you start keeping malice, you'll be stressed out. I know we heard the story of Frank Edoho some days ago when he said that he's the king of malice. It's more like saying that I'm the king of stress. Because if you keep malice for that long with your spouse, your stress level will go up. Your stress level will go up. Because anytime you see the person, there is something that rises within you, a certain level of anger that stresses you out. And this is very dangerous. So it is your response to issues that is what is causing you stress, not the issue in itself. There are some people that have gone through a lot, and if they didn't tell you that they went through a lot, you will not know. You will not know that they've gone through a lot. You see them sit you down to say to tell you what they are going through, you will pity them. Why? Because they've been able to manage their emotion. They've been able to manage how they respond to what is happening around them. What I'm explaining to you is very, very spiritual, because your response determines what will happen in future. If you are a jolly good fellow, always happy, always making people around you happy, despite the fact that you're not happy, but you're making people around you happy, your future will be brighter, your future will be bigger than someone who is not happy and is making sure that everybody around him or her is not happy. So when you create happiness, when you have a positive vibe around you, things work out for you. Even when things are not working out, it's somehow there's a way everything turns around for your good, because you have a positive mindset. So your approach to things around you is what determines whether you are stressed out or not. I want us to understand that, because if you don't understand what stress is, it will be very difficult for me to progress from there. So stress is basically what happens to you, to your body, when you respond to situations around you negatively. If I am always angry at people, my stress level will be high. If I don't allow people to offend me, my stress level will be low. I was discussing with one of my friends recently, and the person really offended me. And I just forgot about it and we moved on with life. So when we're discussing, and I just mentioned it in passing, and the person was so shocked and was like, you didn't tell me. I did this kind of thing to you and you didn't tell me. I was like, I've forgotten about it. If not that we're just gisting, that's how this topic came up. Because I have gotten to a point where I don't allow anything to worry me. I don't allow anything to worry me. So I want you to get to that point. that nothing worries you. It's not as if you are insensitive. You are concerned about what is happening, but you are not worried. Because sometimes people see worry as concern. They are two different things. You may be concerned about what is happening around you, but you are not worried. You are okay. That is the way it is. There was a study that was done in the world by an organization called Gallup, Gallup. It's an international organization. So they do research in different countries. And they did a research among 140 countries. Guess what? They checked the stress levels of the citizens of those countries using some metrics, work stress, stress at home, their anxiety level, their response to anger. Guess what they discovered? Nigeria came number 3. Nigeria was the 3rd out of over 140 people. Or out of over 140 countries, I mean to say. So Nigeria came 3rd. And it's not surprising because there's so much anger in the land. The things that are happening in Nigeria are things that happen in war zones. War zones. As I'm talking about countries that are that are experiencing war. Those are the same things that happen in the country. Every day is one bad news or the other. Every day is one bad news or the other. Anytime you go on the internet, there is something trending, and it is not good. So automatically, whether you like it or not, the stress level of an average Nigerian is high. The stress level of an average Nigerian is high. And this is where the problem is. This is where the problem is. Because you cannot be in an environment that is very stressful and not have a stress management strategy. It doesn't work that way. I've decided to categorize 3 kinds of people in Nigeria and how they handle stress. There are 3 different kinds of people in Nigeria, and they have 3 different ways they manage stress. So I'm going to explain the 3 of them, and of course, everybody falls into those 3. Everybody. In fact, some of them, some of you might be experiencing the 3 of them at the same time. The first one is the hyperactive people. The hyperactive people are those that believe that when they are stressed out, they should work more. So the more they work, the more they believe that their stress will be forgotten. So when something happens and they are under severe stress, they work more, they work longer hours, they put in more effort in an attempt to forget what is causing them stress. Let me give you a typical example. There's this lady here in the UK. She and her husband came into the UK, I think that was 2023. And as the husband came into the UK, he fell sick. I think he had a kidney problem. And because it was really bad, I think he came with it from Nigeria. So by the time he got into the UK, it was really, really bad. They tried to manage it. It was so bad that they told him that he can't last more than 6 months. And they checked him into a care home. This is somebody that is, I think, 30 years old or 30-something years old. So they checked him into a care home. So the wife had to be taking care of him, visiting the care home and all that. At the end of the day, he passed on. Guess what? When he passed on, you would think that the wife would mourn him, cry, at least let people come around her to help her through that situation. But no, she went to work. She went to work the next day. She went to work until, in fact, she didn't stay at home any day. A friend was telling me about the situation, and I was like, you should ask her why she doesn't want to take out time to at least mourn the husband. Do you know what she said? She said, if I'm alone, the stress will be so much on me. So that is why I went to work, because I feel if I go to work, I I will forget about it. There are some people like that. You understand? So somebody's even commenting, Dr. Ginika, yes, is saying that I move on. I say once stress is so much, I use work to move on with life. And it's very, very bad, because you're already stressed out and you're adding more work to it. It's a critical case. So those people are permanently stressed out. You know, they are always stressed out. And sometimes there's no hope. So they just resort to work and put in more effort. That is the first category. The second category, which I can say about 70% to 80% of Nigerians belong, they are the highly spiritual individuals. The highly spiritual individuals. So these ones use religion as a psychological buffer to manage stress. I want to say this. If you remove churches and remove mosque, remove any kind of worship in Nigeria, a lot of people will break down mentally. The only thing that is giving a lot of people hope today is church. When they go to church and the pastor preaches a sound message, or they go to the mosque and the imam preaches a sound message of hope, they go back renewed. Their stress level drops, at least for that Sunday. By Monday, they're still okay. By Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the stress level goes up again, and they are anticipating another Sunday. So the church has become a stress relief center. It is not supposed to be like that. A lot of people use church as a cover for what they are going through. And you know, our pastors understand this, so they keep giving you hope. They keep preaching hope, which is not a bad thing. They keep giving you hope. So there are some people that are hoping that miracle will happen and their life will turn around. It happens. I'm a Christian to the cause, and I believe that. But it doesn't happen for everybody. It was when I traveled to the UK and I attended an all-white church. British, no black, everybody was Oyibo. And I saw the message. I saw the way they were preaching. It was totally different from where I was coming from. Their message was more realistic. There was no savior coming from anywhere to come and save you. They preach miracles, they preach signs and wonders, but it was more realistic. And I chose to stay in that church. I'm still in that church over 3 years now. That is the church I attend. You understand? So, but I don't have anything against Nigerian churches. It's just that sometimes the hope they preach is hyper realistic. It's hyper realistic. If you teach that kind of hope in a developed country like UK, they can sue you. Somebody can say, you said if I sow ₦1 million, God will change my life after 2 days, and you brought somebody to give testimony. If I sow and nothing happens, they can sue you. So it's totally different. If I'm my pastor, who is also when he's talking about giving, he is very, notice how careful he is by saying things like it doesn't happen every time like that. It doesn't happen like that every time. So it might not happen for you, but believe God that it's going to happen. You know, they are very careful. And I learned a lot from there, though. Learned a lot. So religious institutions offer hope, as I said, which has helped a lot of people endure stressful situations. And almost everybody belongs to that because we are very religious people and we use it as a coping mechanism. That is why if you are going through anything, the first person you call is your pastor, because that is your way of coping with stress. But the truth is that it is not an effective strategy, because at some point, when reality dawns, you discover that you never really had it. It was just a smoke screen. The third group of people that somehow find a way to manage stress are the cruise seekers. These are the ones that turn everything to cruise. You know what they call cruise in Nigeria? Cruise is like a joke. So if something is happening, they bring out the joke in it and to skit. So we have the cruise creators and we have the cruise seekers. The cruise creators are the people that turn horrible situations going on in Nigeria and they turn it to skits and they share it. People start laughing about it and stuff. So those are the ones that, out of the horrible situation, they are looking for a way to laugh. And we have the cruise seekers. Those are the ones that scroll through TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook looking for jokes, looking for skits that will make them laugh. It's a coping mechanism for them because the stress is too much. So they bury themselves into their phone and they keep scrolling, looking for one thing to make them happy. In an attempt to also look for jokes, they also see some horrible news along with it. This set of people try to make a joke out of everything. They use mimes, they use comedy skits, and a lot of things to cope with dangerous and bad situations. For instance, if the president said something that is very, very, let's say something that doesn't go down well with the citizens, go on TikTok, go on Instagram, go on Facebook, you see that somebody must have turned it to a skit and people will look at it. Have you forgotten the time of Bala Blue Bulaba? Everybody turned it to a joke, something that shouldn't be a joke. Everybody turned it to a joke and people are laughing with it. So those are the cruise seekers, always looking for something to make them happy in an attempt to manage stress. But that is not an effective strategy. I want to share with you some signs you can see and you can say, I think stress is affecting my mental and physical health. I want to share with you some signs. And this is very important because if you don't know what is happening to you, how do you cope? The first thing you must do in managing stress is to be aware that you are stressed out. So if I'm doing a consultation now and I'm having a session with you, the first thing I want to do is to make you aware that what you are going through is stress related. And I've seen different levels of stress. I've seen different levels of stress. When I was in Nigeria, I used to go to TV stations, radio stations to talk about stress. I used to go share about stress and sell some of my products. There was this lady that came to my office after my session on radio. If I called the office to say, I'm coming immediately, I want to come and see you. Because my sessions on radio used to be very interesting and we used to sell out all our products. Sometimes I've done a radio program that I sold over 200 books at a go in a day. That is the Stress Manager's Guide and 70 bots, 40 but trapped in a 70-year-old body. So I sold out those books on radio. There's this lady that came to me after my show And she said, "Doctor, everything you explained on radio is what I'm going through." She listed all the diseases that she was suffering from. She was suffering from hypertension, diabetes, migraine, ulcer, arthritis. She counted almost 10 different diseases on one body. And by the time I started talking to her, started sharing things with her, she was shocked that almost everything that she was explaining to me was linked with stress. Because stress can actually either initiate a disease or trigger the disease. For instance, if you have ulcer, but the ulcer is not out already, the injury is still very small. Do you know when you are stressed out, the ulcer can be triggered and it becomes very serious because of stress? Do you also know that when somebody is under severe stress, the person can go into menopause? It's called premature menopause or early menopause, just because of stress. So stress is linked with over 90% of different diseases worldwide. And WHO has come to confirm it, to say this is actually true. What is the first sign that you will see and you can say that I am under stress? The first sign is when you are always tired, permanently tired, even after resting. So you are tired, it's okay, let me just rest a little bit. And after resting, you are still tired. How do you know you are still tired? Because anytime you sit down in a quiet place, you doze off. Anytime you sit down in a quiet place, you doze off. And that is the reason why a lot of people sleep in churches. Ushers have a big deal of a great job of waking people up. Because in church, you are forced to sit quietly. And because you are undergoing serious stress, that is the only time you sleep. Because everywhere is quiet. You are always tired. You rest, but you are still not having enough sleep. Even if you sleep 8 hours at night, in the morning you still wake up tired. That is because there's a difference between sleeping and resting. I remember I organized a program for different organizations in the UK, and I think one of the organizations, Clockwise, keyed into it. And what was it about? How to rest. That was all I was teaching. How to rest, because people say, I want to rest, but they don't really know how to rest. This is part of the things we teach during the basic stress management certificate course. For 2 weeks, we give you in-depth details about stress. So it's part of what we teach, because if you don't know how to rest, how will you rest now? You might be sleeping. Say, I want to sleep 7 hours, I want to sleep 8 hours. After sleeping, you are even more tired. Because while you are sleeping, your brain is not sleeping. Your brain is working overtime. And you wake up tired. That is the first sign. The second sign is you are always angry and easily irritated. Have you noticed that some people that are always angry? At every point in time, they are angry. At every point in time, they are angry. They are never happy. People run away from them. People don't want to associate with them because they carry a negative vibe. They carry a negative energy. So anytime you go close to them, you want to pull out. And do you know the funny thing? There are some ladies that carry that kind of energy. Any man that gets close to them, they are beautiful, they are fantastic. When you see them from afar, you say, oh my God, this is a wife material. But when you go close, you see that negative energy. You see that negativity around them. There are some people, if they visit you and they leave you stressed out, because they impart on you their negativity and they leave you stressed out. When I see people like that, I shut them down. I shut them down immediately. Please don't give me negativity. There are some people, immediately they see you, they start pouring all their problems on you. They start telling you all they are going through. Their life is not easy. Life is not this. Life is not that. And the more you are saying it, the more life will not be easy for you. Because that is the energy you are carrying. And nature operates at energy levels. When I was studying ethnomedicine, part of the things we studied was energy levels, energy frequencies. Every single thing that occurs on earth occur at energy levels, energy frequencies. Healing occurs at energy frequency. For instance, you can introduce a certain energy called scalar energy into the body, and that energy is healing energy. So when it gets into the body and gets to your organs, it enter into the organs and raise the energy of the organ to a certain level. Healing begins to take place. So the same way, you as a human being, you are dissipating energy. So the energy you are dissipating can be bad energy or good energy. If you are that kind of person that anytime you meet somebody, the first thing you do is to complain about everything you are going through, please stop it. For once, be the one encouraging somebody. Be the one saying that despite the fact that I'm going through this, but I know for sure that I'm going to come out of it. And I know you too will become great. You too will come out of it. When you start giving hope to people, you start giving life to people, you start giving positive energy to people, positivity will be attracted to you. It is a law of nature. The law of nature. When you are positive, positive things will come to you. When you are negative, negative things will come to you. That is how life is. So if you are dispensing wickedness, evil will be attracted to you. Have you not noticed that when somebody wants to do something bad, maybe somebody wants to, let's say you hate somebody so much that you want to harm the person. Have you not noticed that when you start thinking about it, you start seeing things you can use to harm the person? That is when somebody will come to meet you that, there's one Baba in Ijebu-Ode. Once you go to that Baba, anybody that offended you, once you go to that Baba will do something to them. That is when people start bringing such ideas to you. That's because your energy is already evil. So evil energy will be attracted to you. Have you also noticed that people who are wicked in the village are always angry? They dissipate evil energy, and somehow evil things get attracted to them. The things that happen to them, you'll be wondering, how did this thing come to be? How did this kind of thing happen to this person? It's because they are attracted to the energy that they are dissipating. So from today, if you are the kind of person that complains a lot, if you're that kind of person that's always problematic, you are the problem of the whole family, you are the problem of the whole office, please stop it today. By the time you go back to work tomorrow, turn a new leaf, smile, greet everybody. Don't mind whether they answer your greeting or they don't answer your greeting, but make sure you extend a hand of fellowship to them. By doing so, you will see how drastic your life will turn. By virtue of people who are not angry, who are angry at me for one reason or the other. I'm not supposed, if I was angry back at them, I would not be where I am today. But I forgot everything about them. I forgave them, moved on. And my moving on was so fast, they were shocked. Somebody dropped a very negative comment on my post on Facebook. And my wife called me and said, "What did you do to this person?" I said, "I don't even know this person." People started attacking the person to say that, are you sure you read the doc? Because my post was totally different from what he commented. He was out to attack me. But I didn't care. I was just smiling because what has the attack done to me? If I didn't tell you now, will you know somebody attacked me? Same way, if somebody insults you, if you don't say it, nobody will know anybody insulted you. So when people drop stress on me, I don't internalize it. I push it away. The day you start internalizing people's stress, or you start ingesting people's stress, your life will totally turn around for bad, of course. So when people drop their stress on you, just brush it off and move on with life. Life does not revolve around them. Your own life is totally different, and you are in charge of your own life. You are in charge of your response to life. This is very important. So the third thing that you will see, and you say, okay, I'm stressed out, is when you are permanently stressed. Permanently. You are always tensed, you are always anxious, you are always scared. You are always scared. So it happens like that, that sometimes you are always scared of what is happening. Just hold on. Okay. So sometimes you are always scared of things happening around you, and you don't know what is happening. You don't know why you are behaving like that. You don't know why you are responding like that. There are some people that are never at rest, always tensed, because they are facing one problem or the other. So they are always tensed. And that is not how life is supposed to be. Yeah, so the fourth one is memory loss. The fourth one is memory loss. Sometimes you forget things, and you know that you shouldn't forget things so easily like that, because you're still young. Why are you forgetting things like that? So sometimes you just forget things. You don't know what happened. They tell you, do this, do that. In 5 minutes, you have forgotten everything. Sometimes you go into a room, you want to pick up something, and you just forget. You don't know what's happening. It's because you are stressed out. When you are stressed out, the part of your brain that stores information, cortisol, which is the stress hormone, the hormone that is released when you are under stress, goes to that part and begin to remove some things. Do you know why it does that? When you are stressed out, the brain becomes overloaded. And if you add more information to it, it will shut down. So to prevent the brain from shutting down, the body tries to delete some information, because the less information it has, the more the brain will function. So in order for the brain to function at an optimal level, it reduces the information that it has, because you are under stress. But if you have a way of managing your stress, all the information will be intact and you even get more information. Let me give you a typical example. Have you noticed that when you have read so much for an exam, your brain is full. If you attempt to add more information, you forget the things you have read before. Have you noticed that? If you have noticed that, put it in the comment. Let me see. If it has happened to you, just give me an emoji. Let me see if I'm saying the right thing. So sometimes you are writing an exam, a very difficult exam. In those days when we were in school, in medical school, we do sometimes 3 heavy exams in one day. 3 heavy exams. I read as much as I can read, and once I drop my book, I don't read again, because whatever I'm reading at that time is not going to enter my brain. So because if the brain is overloaded, it starts removing information. So let me see those emojis. Let me be sure that you are here with me. Give me a thumbs up if you have experienced that kind of thing. You have written an exam and somehow you try to take in more information, but instead of taking in more information, you forgot about the ones you read before. So give me those emojis if you know it has happened to you before. Okay, yeah. So, okay. Ginika, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I know it has happened to some people. I know it has happened to some people, and it has happened to me many times. So I stopped overloading my brain. Many people think that they are sick and they go to the hospital to run some tests, but they are not really sick. They are stressed out. It was when I was working in I was working in the hospital that I noticed this. I noticed that a lot of people come into the hospital sick. Some of them even have fever. And do you know the funny thing? When we run tests, nothing is wrong with them. But because Nigeria, when you say nothing is wrong with somebody, the person thinks that you don't know what you are doing. So sometimes, so not every time, sometimes we just give them malaria 1+. Because in Nigeria, especially private hospitals, if it is not malaria, it's typhoid. So when this person has been coming, this person has coming, and you don't know what to do again, you just, I know it's not it's not right, but in those days we used to do it though. So you just give malaria 1+, because of course everybody has malaria. So when they go treat malaria, they say, doctor, I'm okay now, I'm okay, everything is fine now. It's not really the malaria that was the problem. They were stressed out. But when they took that medication, in their mind, they thought that they've taken a solution, and they were not calmer. And of course, the body reacted better. So what happens when you are under chronic stress? You experience frequent headache. You experience severe body pains and muscle tension. You experience tightness of the chest. Sometimes your chest becomes so tight. It's because you are under stress. Sometimes your heart begins to beat very fast, or you experience palpitation. It means that you are under stress. Sometimes you have stomach problems like ulcer, diarrhea, constipation. Some of the people that have constant constipation is because they are severely under stress. Because they are under stress, their body becomes dehydrated. And so all the water in the body is not enough to digest the food, and they become constipated. Sometimes they develop ulcer, not because they are not eating well, but because they are under severe stress. Sometimes you experience difficulty breathing. Sometimes you have panic attack. It's as if your heart, what they call heart cutting in Nigeria. That's the way I can put it in English. Let me use that English so we understand. Your heart just cuts. What's happening? I've been feeling like this for some time. What's the problem? It's called panic attack. And that is a sign of stress. Sometimes you have difficulty breathing. It's as if you are not breathing air enough. Because when you are under stress, when you breathe, it doesn't go into your lungs as it should. When you breathe, it's shallow. That's why you just keep breathing at a shallow level. That's why I tell people, when you are under severe stress and you know that this thing is stressing you a lot, breathe in deeply, hold your breath, and breathe out slowly. You do it for 15 times. Breathe in and out. When you do that, you are supplying more oxygen into the body, and the oxygen you are supplying into the body moves around through the blood and helps to calm you down. This is a very effective strategy when you are under severe stress. Another sign is sweating. You sweat profusely. Sometimes you find it difficult sleeping. If you wake up around 3 a.m., that is it. You will not sleep again. Maybe for any reason, you wake up to urinate, or something woke you up, that is the end of sleep. So you find it difficult sleep. It's a sign that you are experiencing stress. Sometimes you lose interest in life. There are some people that have lost interest in life. They are no longer interested in whatever is happening around them. They are not even interested in how their appearance look. So they look tattered, they look unkempt, because they are under stress. This is a very, very serious sign that something is wrong with you. And because of this, it affects their marriages, it affects their life totally, because they disconnect from their marriage. There are some people that are going through difficulties in marriage is because the spouse has disconnected because of stress, whatever reason, domestic stress or work-related stress, no matter what it is. I want to prefer some solution. In the coming classes, I'm going to be teaching different solutions, different, but I wanted to lay a foundation so that we can understand where we are going to, so that by the next class, we pick up from where we stopped and you understand fully well what we are talking about. It will not sound as if it's an abstract to you. So what we are advocating is that you change your perspective to life. There are some things you cannot change, and there are some things you can change. Those things you can change them. One of the things you can change is your reaction to what is happening to you. You can change your reaction, but you cannot change the price of fuel. You cannot change the economic reality in Nigeria. You cannot change the spate of kidnapping and banditry. You cannot change it, but you can change how you respond to those news. You can change how you respond to issues like that. In the course of these sessions, I'm going to have a session for post-traumatic stress disorders. So if you know anybody who has experienced kidnapping, or anybody who is currently going through that scenario, either was kidnapped or is in relation to someone who was kidnapped, I'm going to have a session where I will share with you how you can be healed, because government is just collecting these people back, taking them to the hospital. The hospital, they check and see nothing is wrong with them, and they release them back. How about their mind? Some of them are mentally damaged, especially those kids that they were pouring hot stuff on. They are mentally damaged. And if care is not taken, they're going to grow up with anger, and they will unleash the anger on the society. So that is the importance of healing. That is the importance of taking them through therapy so that they will heal properly. So what the point I'm trying to make is this: I want to change your perspective to how you see life. Instead of seeing life as something you have no solution to, see life as something that you can do something about, something that you are in charge of. I am totally in charge of my life. Same way I want other people to know that they are also in charge of their life. You can determine how your life goes by your words and by your thoughts. So anything that will make you to speak negativity or to think negativity will result to stress and mental exhaustion. And I want you to also understand that stress affects the mind so badly. We're rounding up now. Stress affects the mind so badly. It is important to understand that the first part of your body that stress affects is your mind before it even affects your body. Because it is with your mind you will think what the reaction will be. If something happens to you, you process it in your mind or in your brain. How do I respond to this? So if for any reason your brain is affected with negativity, your body naturally will follow suit, because the body is the slave of the mind. The body is the slave of the mind. So whatever your body is feeling now, your mind has felt it. The mind is so powerful that it can control the body. If you are able to make your mind to be resilient, you can go through pain without even feeling it. So a lot of people are going through so much stress, but they are not feeling it in their body because their mind is protected. And that is where we are going to learn how to protect your mind against negativity. and build capacity. I just saw it now. Build capacity to handle stress. Build capacity. Don't just see stress as something that happens and you just give up. No, build enough capacity that when things are happening to you, you don't feel anything. Dangote lost about $25 billion in one day. I think there was something that happened and he lost $25 billion in one day. But Dangote was smiling all around. You now, 50 naira is missing in your house, and the whole house, you want to turn it upside down. All your children are running a tasketa. Your husband is worried. What happened? Where's that 50 naira? 50 naira. So how are you responding to what is happening around you? After the basic stress management certificate course, somebody shared and said she had a very bad day, but because she has gone through my teachings, she was not worried. And she was surprised that on a normal day, this whatever happened would have ruined her day. But she was not worried. And the husband was shocked, was like, this course you are running, I say the thing is really affecting you positively. She wasn't worried. Because that's what I teach my students. You can go through stress and it will not show on you. And it will not affect you in any way. So I think this is the point where I'll make this announcement. We're supposed to have the next batch of the basic stress management certificate course in 2 weeks' time, but we have not gotten the number we want. So we have decided to shift it, postpone it to the 5th of July. 5th of July, and it will run from 5th of July to 28th of July. So it's basically 14 days of intensive training, and we'll put you in a WhatsApp community where you share your experience daily. As you are learning, you are sharing it, and at the end of the day, you'll be given a certificate that is recognized by the UK government. Some people that did the course submitted their certificates in with their HR, and they were promoted. They just said, I submitted my certificate to the HR to say that I've undergone this course, and they were promoted in their office. So it is a certificate that is recognized by the UK government, because my company is recognized by the UK government. So you're not just doing a course and just getting away with it. No. So everybody who graduates from the basic stress management certificate course is added to an alumni community where I'll be sharing experiences, and some of the programs I do internationally, I will invite them to join. Apart from that, they will have opportunity of mentoring. If you want to be a stress management consultant, maybe I've retired or you want to retire, and you're thinking, what do I do after retirement? You can be a stress management coach, and I will teach you. So I'm creating a platform for that, where I'll mentor you on how to become a stress management coach, what you do. And also, if you want to go into business, we'll mentor you. I'll bring people from outside the country. I've spoken to a few of my friends. I've spoken to Louis, who is a former BBC journalist, and she's ready to take one of the classes. We're going to do classes on AI, different topics. So we'll plan that, I think, around August, September. So we still have some time to plan that. But the basic stress management certificate course is starting in July. So if you are interested, you are a professional, a coach, a consultant, or somebody who is affected by office stress or personal stress, you want to take advantage of it, please chat me up or contact Modesta in the community, and she will put you through the process of how to register. The next topic we're going to be handling next week is how to create a practical stress management plan for yourself and your family. That is the next topic for next Sunday. How you can create a practical stress management plan for yourself and for your family. So I want to take a few questions. If you know you have a question, just drop it in the comments. I'll see the question, then I'll respond to it. In the next 5 minutes, I'll take some questions and we'll call it a day. Also, remember to share this link with your friends. Remember to share the link with your friends. If you know anybody who needs to listen to this, just copy the link that I sent to you and share it with them. Ask them to watch this and listen to it. They will gain a lot, honestly, and it will benefit them. So it's something that you can share with as many people as possible. Let them learn some of the things, and it will help them. So if you have any question, drop it. I think somebody asked about the organization that did that research. I think the name of the organization is Gallup. Gallup is Gallop. Gallop. That's the name of the organization. So let me see if there's any question then. Oh, fantastic. So Dr. Ginika is saying she needed this. And of course, from tomorrow, make sure your approach to life and to everything is totally different. Make sure there's an evidence that you attended this class. Don't just hear what you heard today and go back to the way you used to live. That will not be nice. Okay, so Mama Gamba, which my madam, thank you so much for the lecture. Thank you so much, ma. And Abdul Hakim, I'm enjoying this intellectual lecture. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And we're going to be sharing more of this. Okay. If there's no question, of course, if you've got any question, even after this, you can drop it in the WhatsApp community or the Telegram community, whichever one you belong, and I'll find time to respond to them. So, okay, I think somebody has dropped a question. Okay, my boss terminated my appointment on the 29th May with immediate effect without any reason as an operational manager. Wow. We're sorry to hear about this. These are some of the things that happens when you work for someone, and thank God you have interview somewhere tomorrow. I'm wishing you well. I give them as much details as you can. Go with a positive mindset. You can wake up in the morning, look yourself in the mirror, and say, I know I'm going to get this job. It's called positive affirmation. So because you say it and you experience it. I've used this method very well, and it has worked for me. I used to share this testimony anywhere I speak. There was a time that I was not on TV, I was not on radio, I was not anywhere. Nobody was inviting me. But I told myself that I want to be on TV, I want to be on radio. So I will see myself on AIT, on Silverbird, on different TV stations being interviewed. I will play it in my mind. Do you know, one day somebody called me that they checked Facebook and they saw that I teach stress management, and they said, can you come to AIT? That was how I appeared on AIT. And after the session, they said, can you come back on Monday? And I did it on Friday. By Monday, they said I should come back, and I came back to continue from where I stopped because it was filled with value. So have a positive mindset as I go into that interview, and God will be with you. Yeah. And don't forget to give me a feedback on how it went, and hopefully you get the job. Okay. So I think at this point to call it a day. Remember to share the video with as many people as possible. Share to different people. Put it on your status if possible. Let others benefit from what you are benefiting from. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click on notifications so that if I post new videos, even if you didn't get the notification or the reminder, once you see the new video, you know that we are live in any of the Sundays that we're going to be teaching. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Somebody said, I'm interested in the course. Fantastic. So send a message across to me. Or let me drop an email that I can send, or let me drop a phone number. I'm sorry, let me just drop a phone number so that as many people that want to participate in the course will know what to do. Just a minute, please. So my sessions are filled with value. I'm telling you, it's filled. I have not done any training anywhere that they didn't want to invite me, you know. So they didn't want to invite me again, you know. So the course is filled with value. I can assure you, it's filled with value. So let me put the number for our office in case you want to be a part of the course. You can just screenshot it. I'll post it now. A minute. Okay. So you can see it scrolling on the screen. Just screenshot it, and I'll leave it to scroll for some time. Screenshot it and just send us a WhatsApp message that you want to register. And of course, it will be good. We'll be happy to have you. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone that joined us this evening. I will see you next Sunday at the same time, 9 p.m. We'll be here. Invite your friends to join us. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.